Hey everybody, what's going on? We are back in the PMDG 777 freighter, which is some pretty cool stuff. Peter, how you doing? It's good to see you again as well. Glad you can make it. What's going on? This is going to be a fun one because I've never I've flown in this area of the world, but not really. So this is we are in Ho Chi Minh City, and we're gonna be flying up to Hanoi today. And this isn't something I ever thought I would do, fly this kind of flight. But that's kind of what I really like about cargo ops is it opens up a whole different kind of world to fly in, you know? It just makes everything a little bit it just makes things different. It brings other flights into play that you normally wouldn't do, or at least I wouldn't normally do anyway. So pretty excited about that. And Peter, I had the same thing, to be honest with you. I got bitten by a spider like 2 weeks ago, and it was not good. I'll spare you the story, but yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. And so we're gonna do our flight today, and we got all kinds of fun stuff going on. Oops, I got my gear handle up. Got all kinds of fun stuff going on. Oh, no way, B101, that's awesome. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking out. Looking forward to checking out this area. We'll take a real quick look around the airplane. I've got a new livery. We're flying Aerologic today, which is pretty interesting. I've never had, it's one of those funny things, like I've never had any interest in flying cargo, and now that I have a cargo plane, I'm like, wow, this is the coolest thing in the world. So let me hop over here to Volanta and we'll go through our flight plan here real quick. We're heading out of Ho Chi Minh City here, and I'll just be heading up north along. I think this is rather mountainous along this area, and I'm looking forward to seeing this area here along the coast. And one of the interesting things, so when I was looking at the approaches into Hanoi and how to get into Hanoi, there were I believe 91 possible arrivals into Hanoi, which is pretty wild. Take a quick look at our Navigraph charts as well. Got everything set up and ready to go, and it's going to be a pretty straightforward flight, pretty much. I mean, come out of Hanoi, or Ho Chi Minh City rather, northbound, out a little bit over the water, and on the arrival here, it's basically just a right hand pattern into runway, let's see, runway 11 right. Yeah, Peter, you know what? There's nobody to complain about my landings, you know? So the departure's pretty straightforward, just a right turn on departure here, and then boom, boom, and we're out of town. The arrival's relatively straightforward as well, coming up here. And like I said, it's just a straight T arrival. You can see coming up here and just a right hand traffic pattern into Hanoi, and it should be relatively easy because we got to be between 4,000 and 5,000 feet right here at Danmo, so we're not going to be particularly high, and we've got what, 20 miles out, 6 over, 20 miles back in, then we start the approach. I'm going to fly the ILS Zulu, and that is 10 miles. So we got basically a 30-mile straight-in final. So should be a pretty straightforward flight today. We are going to do it on VATSIM. Let's get back into the plane here. We are going to do it on VATSIM, which is which is should be fun. So, hey Bob, what's going on? Good to see you. We are excited today to give the I had so much fun flying this plane the other day. I really did. So let's get into the EFB here, and this is my first time in Vietnam in the sim, so I'm pretty excited about this actually. So there's our route here. Let me get some weather. Obviously we're not using, I'm using real weather, but it's not real real daylight time, obviously. So winds are 340 at 3 gusting 13. 3 to 13. QNH 1007. Weather should be good today. Don't anticipate any issues. Let's go over and start loading up the FMC, and I got my trick going. My first of all, let me have a quick look up top here. APU is running. I've got the secondary scaling going, and which is pretty cool. So let's get that on. And I'm just gonna I don't know if I should shut down the APU. I shouldn't, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Phil Skinner, what's going on? How you doing? So let's get things going here. Nav date is out of date. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the Navigraph hub connects to this plane yet, which is unfortunate. So let's get our route here first. And let's set the payload, set the fuel. And I have to make sure not to sit. I'm doing great. Hey Willem, how are you doing? Good to see you. I saw your comment earlier. Hope you're doing well. So fuel is 25.5. Let's take a quick look here. Block fuel 56.1. Is that in kilograms? Probably in kilograms. Yes, it's in kilograms. Why is it in kilograms? I don't like kilograms. Kilograms make my brain hurt. Let's see here. I don't think I can change it in this, can I? Yes, I can. No. Tablet brightness. Airspeed. Come on down here. This must be a plane setting here. If anybody knows where the... I know I had... It's either simulation, performance, no. Return to set up those options. Let's go back. Aircraft. Displays? Haha, we do not want kilograms, we want pounds. Come on, punk. Alright, there we go. There we go, now we're happy. Let's see here. Go back to the route page. Alright, so we've got the route. We've got the fuel. Alright, good to go. Shmarkash, how you doing? What's going on? Phil Skinner, I was in Italy 5 years ago, and what an amazing country. Absolutely beautiful place. We were in the north near Verona. Beautiful country. And let's go perf in it. We'll accept that. And things are so simple in the PMDG 777. I love flying this airplane because it's so simple. Let's load that. Let me see. Done via the EFB rather than the hub. Ah. Okay. I did not know that. Alright, let's see. Make sure we're still... Alright, we got our GPS position. I'm gonna go up top. I'm gonna turn the DRU on. And let's see, what's our reference airport? VVTS. Dun, dun, dun. And yeah, it's about right. So, let's load the route. That is good. And there we go. Whoopsie. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got our route here. And I want to make sure, let's get our Navigraph hub or Navigraph charts up here. I flew into Milan, Phil Skinner, and it was so cool. We really enjoyed it. Beautiful part of the world. Let's see, here we go. We are box 6621 today is our call sign. So up to Bison, that's perfect. Enter inertial position. I knew you were going to ask me that. I was waiting for it to ask me that. So let's go there, and we'll go previous page, and we'll go here. Now we're good to go. All right, departures and arrivals. We are flying, we're off 25 left. KDU 2G departure. KDU 2 and Patma is our transition. So we'll set that. And our arrival is going to be is going to be ILS Zulu 11 right. ILS Zulu 11 right. BISO 1A. Bison transition. Alright, so we should be good. Now let's check our routes here. Got our wind data. Schmarkash, we probably have inch and a half, two, no real big deal, and but they're talking it's gonna get really windy out here. That's what we're kind of worried about, but it really hasn't been too bad. Ah, okay. So maybe I need to maybe I should at least look at the. You do not yet have without this many. Click the download button to download and extract navigation data from Navigraph. Ah, look at that. Now we're in business. Bob, business trip to Monaco. Business trip in quotes. That's my kind of business trip. That's awesome. I didn't know you could install this via the tablet. Nav data update complete. Sweet. All right. So now let's come over here. Did it just? Please tell me it just. Yeah, it just wiped everything. All right. Well. Oh boy. Okay. So now I gotta do everything again. That's alright. No big deal. That's what you were trying to tell me before. That's okay. So I didn't do a whole lot yet. Yeah, no, I didn't doubt that you had gone, but that's my kind of business trip. That's awesome. Alright, let's execute that. Route 1 uplink loading. Guess who's back? Back again. Hallo, wie geht's dir? Alright, we got that. Now, let's go. I want to do this before I forget. Our weight is still the same, so the fuel rather is the same, so they didn't change that, which is good. Alright, so now we come back here. Perf in it, we'll take that. 0 fuel weight, we'll take that. And it's gonna ask me for my position, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, we're good to go. We're good to go there. All right, let's check the winds again. Let's make sure we got. I love how it switches sides, the load button, just so you can't like automatically, just hit it mindlessly all the time. You got to look. All right, now let's do departures and arrivals again. What was it? 25 left, and we've got the Cata 2. Alright, yeah. No, that's not what I meant to do, but that's okay. Cadu 2G. Cadu 2G. Padma. Send that. And I know that's ready, so let's go arrival again. ILS Zulu runway 11 right. ILS Zulu 11 right. Let's see here. BISO 1A Bison. BISO 1A Bison transition. Alright, so now we'll go and we'll do our performance calculations here. And let's go here. Performance tool. And we're gonna go 25. What did I say? 25 what? 25 left. 25 left. We get that. Import the weather. So OAT is 26. 26. And let's calculate. Alright, flaps 5. Select temp 49. Trim 5.25. V2 is 161. And takeoff 2. We should get 87.3. Alright, sweet. So now let's get back over here. Go flaps 5. 163. Yeah. Pretty close. Thrust limiter, AP, select temp is 49. Takeoff 2. Getting slightly different numbers than the no, these are actually not perfect. 161, that's what we were supposed to get. 5.25, perfect. Takeoff 2, perfect. Awesome. Cruise altitude 34,000. I think we're pretty good to go here. Trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten. Alright, let's get this set up. We'll take a quick look at our departure. V2 set on MCP. Let's see here. Let's go 181. Or no. 25 left. 250. I got two things mixed up. 250. And I'll check and see if they've got a 181 V2 plus 20. I'll see if they have an altitude on the departure Let's see here. Transition altitude 18,000 feet. Minimum climb gradient 4% until 500 feet. That's pretty steep. 5% until 10,000 feet. That's a so normal climb gradient would be 3%. So what this means is we're climbing at 250 knots, which we are. It's going to be 12. I mean, it's easy for this airplane, but what these things are, if you're flying like a piston or a piston twin, something like that, and you're climbing at, you know, 100, let's say 125 knots, right? 630 knots, so 630 feet per minute climb rate, give or take. It's easy down low, but once you start getting a little altitude, 6, 8, 10,000 feet, it's going to be hard to maintain that. So, and especially if you have an emergency, you lose an engine, something like that, then you're flying out single engine. So you got to worry about this stuff on these types of departures. So 250, and then we hang a Ralph, and we're good to go. Let's see here. Let's get back over here. I want to get my charts out very quickly. I want my airport chart. I wish this was scrollable. I really do. Airport briefing, airport briefing, airport briefing, airport briefing. Come on, where are you? Because this is all the way. There we go. All the way down here. It should be an easy taxi because we're just coming right over here. And then our standard instrument departure is, which chart number is it? Let's make it easy on ourselves. It is chart 103L. 103L. Let's make it easy on ourselves. There we go. So we'll just do that. We'll do that and we're good to go there. So ground ops, are we ready here? All right, let me check my chart here, or my checklist here, me old checklist on me very old iPad. All right, so pre-flight checklist is good. Cockpit preparation checklist is all good. Flight plan we've got. Let's start the ACARS so we don't forget. Let's see, we're gonna be flying on VATSIM and cruise altitude 34,000 feet. And we'll start that, and I can't because I don't have FSU IPC started yet. So I'm going to be interested to see, particularly on this flight, how the box 621, and we are connected. All right, cool. We're connected to VATSIM. I'm curious to see how the secondary scaling works as we go. I mean, I'm in a completely different setup than I usually am. Wait, what am I doing? There you go. 4234. That's my favorite. That is my favorite squawk code. Alright, legs. What I want over here is I want prog. I want the FMC. We want the prog page. Come up here. Control. I want the engine page. Alright, so we got everything set. MCP is set. Flight directors. Let's go. Flight directors on. Alright, auto throttles armed. LNAV, VNAV is on. Flight instruments are set. What did I say? The 1007. And you can see no ghosting on the screen. It looks beautiful. Full of beauty. All right, let's see, RTO, we're gonna set that. Audio panel is set. We are on 122.8. Transponder TCAS set and test. I gotta remember to save a setup without all of the lights on. All right, ground service vehicles. Come here, ground service vehicles. All right, let's release all of the ground service vehicles. And while that is going on, gonna release this. All right, that's auto, on. Bus ties on auto, on. These are all backed up. These will come on here shortly. Seat belts we don't have to worry about. Alright, let's see here. Let's go beacon on. Window heats are all on. That needs to be armed and closed. Alright, normal. That's on, normal. Left forward fuel pump is on. Temps are good. Packs on auto. Trim air is on. Bleed air is on auto. APU is on, bleed air is on auto. Engines are on, ready to go. So now what we need to do is check our ground. I can't check the comments here for a second, gents, just because I've got. Let's take a look outside here real quick. We're all buttoned up. Look at this. We are all buttoned up and ready to go. This is live traffic, live VATSIM traffic. All right, doors are all closed. Let's arm the doors that we need to arm, which are the two front doors. Connections. Let's remove the chocks. All right, so we should be good to go as far as that goes. Now, should be a pretty simple. Via Victor Sierra 1 should do the trick for us. All right, so right electric hydraulic demand pump. Let's see. Right is to auto. Primary C1, C2 auto. Left electric dynamic demand pump is on. C1, C2 auto. Left and right fuel pumps all on. I do not believe we have center fuel. We do not. All right, let's see here. I just want to make sure passenger signs we don't have to worry about. Beacon is on. Recall. Push recall. We're good to go. All right, good to go with that. Engine area is clear. Secondary display unit is on engine. All right, so we are now ready for push. So, yeah. So let's have a look around here and make sure that we're good to go. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with things. Just want to make sure what the other thing I need to do. Let's see. Ho Chi Minh traffic. Nah, it's probably not good enough. Nhat traffic. Let's try that. Nhat traffic. Tan Son Nhat. Okay. Make an announcement here because we do not have any controllers. So Transon Nhat traffic box 621, we'll be pushing from gate 7A, taxiing the runway 25 left via Victor Sierra 1, 10 Hands on Nhat traffic. All right, that was a terrible radio call. Let's make sure the brake is off. And we're going to check the... I'm going to check the trim here in a second. Alright, toes on the brakes. Request push. And let's see, here we go. This is going to be a bit tight, I think, on the pushback. But once we get moving here... Let's see. I'll wait till we start moving before I push anything here. I'll check the comments here in a second in case anybody's got any questions about the plane. And once we start moving here, alright, now go start, down, fire this up. Alright. And we're looking good. Clear on the left side. Emergency lights are still off. Yeah. Oh, what is the freight? That's an excellent question. That's a good question. I wonder what they would be carrying around here. Mail. You know, stuff like that. I don't know if I showed you. I showed the last time this. It's got a Aston Martin DB5 and a there we go, that's good. Emergency lights. Where are my emergency lights? I believe, no, they should be on. They're armed. They are armed. And let's just check real quick how the engine is looking. Looking very good. One thing about this plane is how easy it is to start. Like, everything is so much easier than the 737, for example. Yeah, and so apparently the DB5 was for Robert Randazzo, and the Alfa Romeo is for Matisse. So you get my. That's coming up. Come over here. Q&H is set. Emergency lights are good. We got our packages. Let's take a sip of our tea. We haven't taken a sip of our tea yet. So engine is stabilizing, and let's come over here. All right, we're good to go. Left and right generators are good. APU selector is off, and actually what I can do is let's set the parking brake here for a second. Engine start selectors are normal. Left and right pack control switches. These are going to come. These lights will come off here shortly. Left, center, right isolation valves are all good. Engine bleed airs are on. Dab trim. Let's check that. Is 50. We're gonna come 525. Let's see. Flight controls. Left aileron, good. Right full aileron is good. Let's have a look outside. See that, and all those all the spoilers coming out there. And let's see. Full back elevator is good. Full forward on the elevator. That is good. Rudders. Let's take a look at the rudder. Swinging left to right here. Jeez, that is one big rudder. Alright. It's a cool plane. So this is, it's based on the 777 200 LR. So it's a little bit different than the 777 300 ER that we're used to. Alright, let's see. Anti-ice as required. Lower display unit off. Let's make sure, first of all, electrics are all good. Hydraulics all good. Fuel is balanced and adequate. Air is good. Gear, doors are armed. Gear is down. That, well, maybe the doors are closed. Nope, they're not. I know some planes, they close the door will close even when the gear is down. Alright, so, let's go. Let's turn that off. And taxi lights, runway turn off, lights coming on. Even though it doesn't really make sense right now. Alright, so we are ready to taxi. Clear on the left side. Make sure we're clear on the right side. I'm gonna have to, whoopsie, what do we got here? Oh, left forward fuel pump. Alright, and the packs are on. Alright, so now let's get moving here. Let's get matriculating. Oh yeah, I got an idea. Release the parking brake. I'm full of good ideas. I don't know if you guys knew that. And we should be clear, plenty clear. Alright. So get that moving. And we are moving. I always get nervous about how big this plane is. That we're gonna contact something here on the I do, but that's a very basic that's kind of like a highlights checklist. It doesn't really contain everything, which I mean doesn't mean I shouldn't use it. But that is a good question, Peter. It is there and it's a cool feature, but it really just gives kind of the big parts. It doesn't give the finer points. I should have left this open. So let's go airport info. Where is my aeroplane? Alright, we're coming up CR1 right here. And we're just going to be making a right-hand turn up here. And then another right-hand turn. We're heading a 053, so we're good to go there. I'm going to hold short right here. And we'll make sure our charts are set to go on the tab here. On the Universal Flight tablet. I'm going to check Volanta, make sure we don't have any traffic. And we do have some incoming traffic. I'm going to hold short of this line. And the reason is... Oh wait, have I gone past the hold short line? No, I have not. Why is there's no hold short line? Weird. So that is the that's the ILS critical area, this line right here. And what that means, if you go past that and somebody's flying the ILS, because you're a big bucket of metal and radios, you might mess up the ILS signal. So we're gonna stay short of that, and we're gonna get our departure up, and we're ready to go. As far as that goes, hey Peter, absolutely, I'd love that. That'd be great. Let me check one time here. This guy should be on VATSIM, but I don't hear him calling. He's still at 12,000 feet, so he's probably a little bit out. Not traffic, box 621 departing 25 left. It'll be a right crosswind departure to the north. Not. Alright, here we go. Let me just make sure we are all set. And oh, please don't tell me this just froze. My sim might have just frozen, folks. Nope, here we go. There we go. Alright, hold on for 1 second here. Wonder if this is a VRAM thing. Hold on 1 second. Let's try ultra performance, drop this down a little bit. Something told me not to try this flight with... See, that's the beauty of this, is even with in ultra performance, it doesn't seem it doesn't seem like a visual downgrade. Alright, not traffic, box 621 departing runway 25 left, right crosswind departure to the north. Bot. Yeah, Josh, I almost decided not to do... Oh, you know what? This is why God created checklists. Alright. Let's go up top. We gotta get the strobe on. And we'll go. One last check of final. And off we... Oh, I've got a new driver today. I've got a new driver. The DLSS thing, and yeah, so can't be terribly surprised if not everything runs perfectly. Alright, let's get out on center line here. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. And I knew I was going to get that. That's because I didn't, Peter, that's because I didn't do that checklist. Alright, so. Engines to 40%. They are stabilized. Toga power is set.
Airspeed's alive.
Checked. Accelerating normally.
80 knots.
Cross-checked. Kind of a long wait to V1.
V1. Rotate.
Alright.
Positive rate of climb.
Gears coming up. And we'll be right on a right-hand turn here pretty darn quick. Yeah. So another one of the things about this plane is it's such a joy to fly. The hand fly. It's such a fun plane to fly. So flaps 1. And we're coming around to a 053 heading, I believe it was. Can't be. Alright, and flaps coming all the way up. Okay, get the nose down here a little bit. Alright, and we'll engage the autopilot. Autopilot confirmed. And let's have a look around here. RTO is off. Turn off lights coming off. I left the taxi light on. That's no bueno. Alright. Quick look here up top. Everything looking good. Alright. Flaps are up. Auto brake is disarmed. And we are cruising. Bring this up to 18,000. All right, bring that up to 18,000. That's our transition altitude. Meanwhile, here is the 777. J. Ross, this is a great plane. It really is. It's a lot of fun. Hey Josh, thank you. I appreciate it. Went up through 10,000. Yeah. I don't understand why this buffers. I really don't. John, Winter is treating me lovely. Yeah, I don't know why this buffers. I really don't. It drives me nuts. I've tried everything. I've tried everything, and I just don't understand why it does this. I just don't understand why it does this, but it does. And it does it all the time. Dial this up to 34,000. Alright, and we'll go standard altimeter. I need to find a better way to stream because this is not cutting it. I've tried everything. And I just don't understand why it does this. Paulo, I use 2 for secondary scaling. I just don't understand why it does this, but it does. And it does it all the time. I just wish I knew why it did this. Because it's really irritating. And I just don't know. I don't know how to do it. Fix spot for for landing lights. Ah. Hey, that's pretty cool. Thanks. Thanks, B101. I just don't understand why it does this. I really don't. John, we are headed to Hanoi. We are headed to Hanoi. So this is one of the things that I like about uh, about cargo flying is that you can fly, like, it's completely new destinations, completely different places to go fly. So and we're getting close to top of climb here. I'm gonna check something real quick. All right. And there's so many things that I forgot to do. I get distracted when I'm sitting there trying to figure out why the buffering is happening. And the buffering is still happening. It's beautiful out here. I just don't know why it's buffering, because I have plenty of bandwidth. I have plenty of bandwidth. And it's driving me nuts. It gets frustrating after a while. It gets frustrating after a while. Let's see. And the image isn't any good anyway. Oh wow. That must have been an interesting trip. Let's see. It's any good anyway. It's and the other thing that drives me nuts is the image is poor. Like I'm watching the image right now on my browser, and the quality of the image is bad. Hey, Lazy Pilot, good. I hope it works for you. It should. I found it's worked quite well, surprisingly. I didn't think it was going to work, but it has. And the image is just bad quality. At least it's caught up now. I think one of the I think I might have found the problem, but I can't change it right now. Anyway, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just gonna keep flying. Alright, so we are at 34,000 feet. Let's have a look at the checklist here. Flaps and landing gear were good. Alright. Alright, electrics are looking good. Hydraulics are looking good. Fuel's looking good and balanced. Air is all good. Alright, so we're good to go. Let's see, we're coming up. Let's see, SATUS. Mark Doyle, how you doing? What's going on? Let's have a look here on our flight plan. We'll check SATUS. See what kind of... See what our fuel... SATUS. We should have 41.1 at SATUS. Alright, and let's have a look. And we got 42.9, we got 33, 34 miles to go, so we should be good to go. Fuel-wise. Anything else funky going on? We don't have any passengers. So we don't have to worry about that. Alright, life is good. We are cruising over Vietnam, and life is good. Wonder how good the satellite imagery is over Vietnam. It's looking pretty cool out, in my opinion. Got out my favorite seat in the house. And one of the things I love about this plane is the colors. I love the colors in this airplane. This would be a really cool place to take in a flight. So there's one setting I need to change in my stream setting that should help. I don't know. I'm getting really frustrated with the whole streaming thing because I just doesn't seem like I can ever get. Doesn't seem like I can ever get like a clean stream without having some sort of issue. But that's the way it is sometimes, I guess, right? I appreciate that, Mark. I was having some buffering problems earlier, which gets frustrating. And I'm not, I don't spend enough time in OBS to try and figure it out. So let's get back over here and check out what's going on here. Let's say this, we're coming up on status. We're looking at 41.1 for fuel. We got 42.0, so we're good to go there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Where are we in the world? We are in Vietnam. And the part I'm really interested in is seeing once we get up here, coming out over the water should be pretty neat. But there is some traffic in this part of the world right now. We're on. I'll switch over to Volanta here really quick. Switch over to Volanta real quick. I'll show you. So there's a little bit of VATSIM traffic out here, but not a whole lot. It is 3 o'clock in the morning in Vietnam right now. But beautiful day for flying, that's for sure. Beautiful day for flying. The scenery is interesting. God, that's a beautiful airplane, is it not? Yeah, Marcus, we're doing pretty well as far as that goes. Let's have a look down here on our progress page. Step climb. Step climb to 360. I totally slept on that one. Let's see. And the step climb is on. Yeah, Jean, I love that seat. It's just, I've always liked this seat. You know? I just sit back here and just kind of look around. If you offered me a chance, first class in the 777 or sitting in this seat, I'd sit in this seat. It's always been one of my favorites. All right, so let's have another look here. So, okay, so there is no further step climb. We're good after this. And our arrival. Interesting. 4,000 footsteps, really. I'm assuming you know what RVSM means. Well, yeah, that's right. You're an airline pilot, are you not? B101, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. I was thinking there was somebody a while back who was VVNB is our Alright, we'll start looking at our arrival here pretty soon. Let's see, Hanoi by International. Hanoi by. No. What do we got here? I keep hitting that button, and I mean to hit that button. So we got the arrival at 4:16 Zulu. Right now it is 3:02, so we got an hour and 15 minutes. And it's getting more and more interesting. I'm loving seeing a different part of the world. And that's, I was saying before, that's one of the things I love about cargo ops is that it takes you to different places. Like, it takes you to places that you wouldn't otherwise go. I mean, I would otherwise have no reason to fly, you know, a jet flight in Vietnam. But being able to do this and check out new places is pretty cool. So I flew China yesterday, or 2 days ago. Flew China, and that was an interesting flight. And this one I just think is pretty awesome. Kind of fun stuff to see, fun stuff to do. Just something different. And FlightSim 2020 is in such a good place right now. That's the other part of it. So this is where there's this kid I follow, I call him, there's a guy I follow on Instagram who's probably in his mid-20s, I would say. And he, yeah, Kathmandu is interesting. But this kid I follow on Instagram, and he's, I've followed him since he was, I forget where he was flying commercial up in Alaska or something. And he's a 777 first officer for United, and the guy's like probably 25 years old. And like, I just think about what an interesting life this guy's gonna live, like spending the next, you know, 30 years, 40 years flying airliners all around the world. And one of the things he did, want to talk about funny, one of the things that this guy did, he scheduled himself so he would be able to fly literally around the entire circumference of the world as fast as he could do it in, I forget, he flew one flight to Perth, Australia, and then he flew another flight to Japan or something. And Peter, if you posted it in this chat, I don't think they let you post links in the chat. But if you post it in the Discord, I'll see it. But yeah, that would have been that'd be a cool life to spend your entire life, basically 40 years flying 777s around the world. That would be a good way to do it. So what have you guys been flying? What has everybody else been flying? What do we got coming up here? We got some mountains coming up. You can see, I think that's the coast right there. Perfect, Peter. Yeah, you can. I think you can see it when you send it, but no, but I don't think anybody else can see it. And J Russ, if I didn't answer you earlier, I apologize. But yeah, the ATR Bob is freaking awesome. I still haven't gotten a chance to fly the ATR in 2024, which is ridiculous. But so what are we coming up on here? Let's see. I'm gonna look on the world map here. See what are these mountains called? I don't know. I don't know what this mountain range is. Flying lots of the C-172. I want to get into the 208. I've always wanted to get into flying that plane, and I just never have. It's such a fun plane. But the 172 is also the only one I really was able to get set up very well in 2024. I think I've pretty much got the twin jet set up. I don't know why they had to do the whole thing with general controls and aircraft controls and it's like they made it too confusing, in my opinion. But so We got a little bit yet to go before we see what I want to see. Let's see here. Come on. Oh, you know this. It's funny. I haven't tried porting over any planes yet. So you just use your. Wait, so how do you do that on Xbox? I'm interested. Because it's the 2020 plane, right? Yeah, you know, B101, I did kind of the same thing, except for I do, like I have single engine piston, twin engine piston, twin jet. Hey, Kefe, what's going on? How you doing? But I'm in DLSS Ultra Performance mode right now. Believe it or not. And I mean, I don't think it looks too bad. I don't think it looks too bad. Oh, so it shows you the plane, so it shows you the Islander in 2024 now. That is interesting. That is interesting. I didn't know that. So let's see here, box 621, right? Yeah, you should, it shouldn't be that, you know? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Islander in 2020. I'm looking forward to flying in 2024 at all. You know, I really haven't done a whole lot of flying in 2024. And Cafe, I agree, it looks pretty darn good for, I mean, and this is ultimately what DLSS should do. I mean, it should, you know, we should be able to use it and get pretty awesome performance with good visuals, you know, but you know, and B101, as long as what you have works for you, that's all that counts, you know. That's all that matters. And I mean, I see some people with some really complex, hey iFly, what's going on? I see some people with some really complex setups, and I see some people with some really simple setups, you know. I have a 3080 Ti is my card. So we should be coming up on the, yeah, you can see, I think this is the coast, you can see right there through the oh, iFly, I'll check that out. I will check that out after my let me see here. Actually, I can look right now. Ah, there we go. accepted, sir. So all right, so we are all set there. So coastline coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing this. This is gonna be cool. What do we got in terms of? We're about an hour, I think. We're about an hour out. 3:45 is top of descent. So it's not a terrible idea to start thinking about the approach. Let's start putting in some fixes here. 36 times 3 is 108 plus 5, we'll call it. What's the wind doing? Wind is pretty dead, so we'll call it plus 5, 113. And then we'll go 25. And then we'll go... Actually, I really wanted to go 15, but that's alright. Do runway 11 right. Let's go fix. Let's go up here. So I'm gonna put in a 15 fix. And you can see right here, I nailed it. So what these fixes do, I'm putting ring distances around. If you do /15, whoops. These create rings around your destination airport, or whatever fix you put, really. But in my case, I put the destination airport, and that way, when I'm on, I always like to have like a nice big green range ring showing me where my top of descent is going to be, approximately. And then I've got a 25-mile range ring, because 25 miles is where I make my first VATSIM call. I've got a 15-mile range ring, because that's when I like to start slowing down. I mean, at least that's when I like to start making sure the plane is starting to slow down. And then 10 miles, obviously, I just like to know 10-mile final, 5-mile final. G27 steering wheel. You know what's funny? I thought about you. I thought about if anybody had used a steering wheel for a yoke, because I mean, I guess for an elevator you can't really use it, but unless you're using the push-pull system that Mercedes had on their F1 car a couple years ago. Using a I actually thought more about using my Honeycomb Alpha for using my Honeycomb Alpha for trying to use it for F1 racing, like an F1 racing sim. Oh, whoops. Whoops. I just sorry about that. See, this is a good thing about not having passengers. Nobody. I just put my yoke hard over left for no reason, because I was playing with it. Josh, I use the Honeycomb Alpha, Honeycomb Bravo, and Honeycomb Charlie. I'm a Honeycomb guy, and I've been pretty. I love the flexibility of their stuff. I think there's some Boeing yokes out there that are better for for flying Boeings, especially the 737. But I just like having one yoke for everything, one setup for everything. So I have the Honeycomb setup, and the Honeycomb Charlie, by the way, is absolutely amazing. Honeycomb Charlie is amazing. The rudder pedals. Alright, let's take a look at this arrival here. I want to see... Let's see if there are any hard what the hard altitudes are on the arrival. I have seen those. I haven't really looked at them too much though, but I've seen them. This is 6,000 or above. This is the one I like. I like this Donmo waypoint right here because it's between 4,000 and 5,000. Because a 6,000 and above. See, the 6,000 and above could be anything. Anything from 6,000 feet to 50,000 feet is technically 6,000 and above. But I guess bison, you've got to be below 15,000. So. And then what is the ILS here? NB361. Yeah, so. Yeah, so we're pretty good. Let's see here. We can start having a look at the start having a look at this anyway. Yeah, but I have seen the Verpal yokes. I'm just not particularly familiar with them. $335. So if I set this, what are the minimums going to be? Glide slope intercept is 1916. I take it this is all in meters, which is why it's all odd numbers, and it is in meters. So call it 2,000. I love VNAV path mode. VNAV path mode is one of the genius inventions of aviation. And knock it off. So... here we go. This is what I was looking for. I was waiting until we came out over the water here. This plane is so big. It fills up your screen. Nice. This plane is just massive. Let's see if I like. I just turned dynamic vibrance off. Let's see which one I like. I think I kind of like it without it. Yeah, I like it like this. So, alright, let's start. At least start briefing our approach here. Let's get some weather. We're inside of an hour. Let's see if we have weather yet. I doubt we will. We might. 1014. Winds are 1003 knots. 1014. At least that way I've got something. This is unusual. Temperature 21, dew point 19. That's a very unusual spread for a really hot temperature like we have. It's kind of unusual. Visibility 6,000 meters. Ceiling 2,100. Doesn't tell you what kind of ceiling though. Marginal VFR. See, the reason why it's marginal VFR is because of this right here. Temperature 212.19. Anytime that difference is less than 5 degrees, you're probably going to get mucky weather. Ooh, look at that. IFR. Ceiling 5,000. Must be because of the visibility. 4,000 meters is what? 12,000 feet. That's 2.5 miles. Yeah, that's why. So we've got 2.5 miles visibility. Few clouds at 3,000. All right, so we have some mucky weather. BR stands for fog. Don't ask me why. NSW stands for no significant weather. RA stands for rain. But pretty consistent ceilings and visibility, and so we can definitely expect some weather here. That is kind of a pretty coastline. Alright, so let's have a look at the arrival. Alright, let's see. RNAV 1 GNSS required. 250 below 10,000. So nothing particularly interesting about this arrival. 15,000, 13,000 are above, 6,000 are above here, between 4 and 5,000 right there. And then we just go around the horn here and we'll make our way in runway 11 right. And let's see, let's take a look at the approach then. We have ILS Zulu. (1083). Final approach course is 109. Glad slope intercept is 1969, aka 1970. What is 1970 in meters? 1970 feet in meters. Gotta be a nice even number, I would have to imagine. Ah, look at that. Yeah. I just answered my own question. 600 meters. So that's why the glide slope intercept is at 1970 feet, because it's 600 meters. Ay. Why can't people just use feet? Alright. The glide slope intercept is 1969. Airport elevation is obviously pretty low. ILS decision height is 239. And why do they call it a decision height? Because you get to an altitude and you make a decision. That's why. Come on, baby. Gonna take a while. 239, I think it said. Boy, this takes a while, huh? There's 239. Let's make sure we got it on both sides. And we have it on both sides. You can see our range rings starting to come in here. And let's see. Let's see, what other kind of fun stuff can we do? Minimum sector altitudes, we're going to be over here, so you can see they've got this high terrain to the north and the west of the airport, obviously. The NOB VOR, which is on the field. Missed approach, maintain final approach track, passing 1500, turn right to NOB VOR at 5000. Join the holding pattern, so it's just going to be a nice teardrop entry into a standard right-hand turn holding pattern, which is going to be heading of 259, and then we come around to enter the holding pattern, and it says radar vectoring required. There's the intermediate fix. Interesting. So one of the fun things about flying in different countries is you find all these weird little quirks. So there is no initial approach fix. That's odd. Alright. Alright. Let's see. So there's no initial approach fix, so that's an intermediate fix. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's start doing our calculations. Start doing our landing calculations here. Let's see. Landing dispatch. Runway 11, right? VREF 154. Runway length is 12,484 feet, so that's good. VREF plus 5. What about this did you not like? Alright, what's our current weight? Current weight is 547. Yeah. Let's see, we're at 32.2, we'll be at 24.1, so call it 8. So 539,000 pounds. I don't know if I can type in here. Yeah, I can. Give or take. VRF of 149. Required landing distance 7402. Cool. All right. Somewhere over there is trying to see what that peninsula is called. Hainan Peninsula out there. There's a little island, and that is China. right over yonder. A little island right out over here. This is kind of fun flying in this part of the world. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. I have not. I flew over to China one time. I flew a 737 from Trinidad to China, which involved flying across the US, then flying it out to Hawaii, and then flying it to Guam, and then from Guam to China. That was a pretty fun flight. I mean, it took like a week to do. But yes, 2 days ago, the flight I did in China was really the first like Asian flight I've done. But it's fun. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty neat. You know, and I really like the fact that flying cargo opens up completely new places to fly. The only reason I'm flying this flight is because it's a non-flown route for one of my VAs for Deutsche Lufthansa Virtual Airlines. So they have a list of flights that nobody's ever flown before for the VA. So I just picked flights off that. Let's see, Skywolf, what's going on? What's your input flying in VR? I have not tried VR yet, but that is soon to change because PMAX has sent me, or is in the process of sending me, a Crystal Light, a PMAX Crystal Light, so I can start trying out VR, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. I've heard some amazing things about VR. I've only used VR one time in my life, and it was pretty interesting. It was completely different than I thought it would be. But all right, we're getting close-ish to top of descent. What are we, about 10 minutes away. So let's start calculating here. Let's see. 24, 31.2, so 7.2. Oh, sure. So 6.2 would be 539.9, 538.9. Manual math makes my head hurt. 538.9. Let's hit that. And look how close I calculated my top of descent. That's pretty good. Alright, flaps 30 is VREF. Add 5, so that'd be 139. Check our winds. And winds are not going to be much of anything. So, I mean, this is kind of uneventful. It should be anyway. My kind of flying. I like boring flying. If a flight is exciting, I'm nervous. The other thing I like doing, I like taking a look at my the ground, the airport charts, the taxi diagrams and stuff. See, arrival. I know, it always does that. Arrival. Which one do we have? We have arrival is 10-2, the Bison. This one right here. Approach is 11-3 is the approach. 11-3 is the approach. And airport info is 10-9. gracious, they have a lot of charts. I forgot I also forgot to say heavy. This is a heavy category aircraft. And what else we got? 1099B1 is for parking. All right, so let's check it out here. Airport. So we're gonna be landing. Maybe landing 11 right. I want to get off. I'd like to get off CRS 6 because this is our parking area right here. So where we got here? I'd like to get off CRS 6 if I can. Then we'll taxi into like, I don't know, 48. We'll see. We'll see. But so let's bring up the star. See what we got for arrival weather. All right. So we shall see. And let's have a look at the approach check or the descent checklist here. Come over here. Bring up our checklist. Descent checklist. Recall checked. Notes checked. Auto brake already? Okay. Auto brake 3. VRAF is set. Minimums are set. Approach briefing pretty much complete. I'm gonna look at the approach one more time before we get before we start. Well, actually, in the descent, I'll check out the approach again one more time. Don't need to turn on my passenger signs. Don't have to worry about that. It's really pretty. It really is a pretty simple airplane, all things considered. I mean, it does so much of it is automated. So much of it is automated that it's really kind of simple-ish to fly. It's just such a beautiful airplane. It is a gorgeous airplane. So, let's see here. Let's see here. Should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. So now we basically just wait until top of descent. What do we got left here? We've got We've got 2 minutes to top of descent. So You can see the range rings that I put in earlier. Gonna make life easy for us as we get closer. Alright. Just take a real quick look. BivM. BivM 28.8 and we have 29.1, so we're basically spot on as far as fuel goes. Fuel is good, so let's take one last look at the approach. That is the... actually, I'm going to use the... I'm going to leave this here. But I am going to use Mi Navigraph charts app here, and that way we can monitor the descent as we go. Hide that. Let's see if we got any. Did we get any updated weather? I love this app. There's so much, like all this weather is just right at your fingertips. So 1014 I did not set yet. There's 1014, winds are 1003, variable 070 to 130. 6,000 meters visibility, which is about 2.5 miles. Temperature 21, dew point 19. Broken at 2100. QNH 1014, no significant weather. And down we go. Down goes Fraser. Alright, so there's that. Weather we got was that's 30 minutes ago, so we'll probably get weather just about when we're flying the approach. We'll probably get an updated weather, but that's alright. So let's see here. Nav radio 1083, 109. Good. Final approach course 109. We got here right now. We'll have to set that as we get a little closer because I want to keep this there. Glide slope intercept 1696. ILS decision height 239. Airport elevation 43 feet. We'll be coming from this direction here, so minimum safe altitude is 2600, and that's because of this right here. See, that's 1516 feet. Your minimum safe altitude is going to be 1,000 feet above the nearest obstacle. So that's our nearest obstacle. 2600 is our minimum safe altitude. You get 1,000 foot of obstacle clearance in non-mountainous terrain. Transition level is flight level 100, which is good to know. Difference between transition level and transition altitude. Transition level is for landing. Transition altitude is for departing. I don't know why they do that, but they do. Somebody explained it to me once. I still didn't understand. Radar vectoring is required. We're not going to need radar vectoring, nor can we get it because there's no ATC. So, this is another interesting little charts tidbit. Why is this side shaded? Because it is a front course localizer. It's a front course localizer. If the left side is shaded, that's a back course localizer, and you've got to reverse your needle sensing, which is really pretty fun. Those are non-precision approaches, but it can still make your brain hurt. Our ground speed will probably be about 140 knots, so 750 foot per minute on the glide slope. It's a 3-degree glide slope, which is standard. That missed approach point at 1.4 NBA, which is NBA is the ILS. but that would only be for localizer out. Glide slope out rather. If you lose your glide slope, you've got to go missed at 1.4 from the ILS. And let's see here. Why is there a dark shaded why is there a dark shading around the ILS DME frequency right here? I am full of useless information if you were not aware of that already. The reason there's a dark shaded area around this is because there is voice receiving capability on this ILS radio. So if you had to, you could talk to somebody via this radio frequency 1083. You could conceivably. All right, let's see. And these timings right here are if the glide slope goes out. So if the glide slope goes out, what's our airspeed? We're too fast. I'm talking too much. Put out some speed brakes here. Ed E, what's going on? How you doing? Let's get us back down to 303. So, these times, 3 minutes 57 seconds, 3 minutes 4 seconds, whatever. What that is how long it would take you to get from this waypoint D6.0, the F11R, to the missed approach point D1.4 at these airspeeds. So obviously the faster you're going, the less time it's going to take you to go from 6 miles to 1.4 miles on the approach. Here's another question. Why is this nautical miles, this D6.0, why is that nautical miles and not statute miles? Come on, folks, get on the ball. Nautical miles account for the curvature of the Earth. That's why. So, what would happen if we're flying this approach? If we're flying the ILS, and we're on a 3-degree glide slope at 140 knots, and all of a sudden the glide slope goes out as we cross the missed approach point. Flight is going awesome, Ed. Having a good time. Talking to myself. But so if you cross this waypoint and the glide slope goes out, you can continue the approach as a localizer only approach, and you would have to time it. So we would have 1 minute and 58 seconds from here to D1.4 to the missed approach point. And that's how you would time the localizer approach. So this is I forget what this is for. This is the approach light system. It's got the rabbit, you can see. Runway end identifier lights, REILs. It's got PAPIs, the precision approach path indicator, which is presumably concurrent with the ILS glide slope. Otherwise, they would tell you it was not. TCH, threshold crossing height, is 54 feet. Runway elevation is 39 feet. So when you cross the threshold, you are going to be 54 feet above the runway. And that for whatever reason, 54 feet is standard. You're going to always see that on approaches. Picking up speed here again. Bring out some speed brakes. Missed approach is climb ahead 1500, climbing right turn to 5000 to the knob VOR, and then we would do a teardrop entry into the approach, or into the holding pattern. Minimums are 239, which is 200 standard. So this is one of the reasons why I like JEP charts as opposed to any other kind of charts, because ALS is approach light system. So these lights we were just talking about, these approach lights, so if those approach lights were to fail or were to be no tamed out, whatever, then your minimum stay the same in terms of height. It's still 200 feet, but your RV, which is your runway visual range, is 12. It would go from 800 meters to 1200 meters. Yeah, oh, you're right. My speed brake is extended. Sorry about that. So generally what happens if these lights are out for whatever reason, your minimums will stay the same in terms of height, but your visibility required will be greater because you need to be able to see a little sooner. So, enough of that. If you guys want to talk about charts, I love talking about charts. I would talk about charts all day long, which you probably noticed. All right, so I don't know why I just closed that. Because yeah, Ed, there's no reason not to. It's great. Frame Gen mod's the bomb. Frame Gen mod is the bomb. Alright, we're coming up on Haben. 15,000 or below. We are on. We are on glide path. Let's see here. Gonna put on some lights. Not 10,000 yet, so I'm not gonna put those on. Alright. So I just like having some lights just in case. Hey Aaron, what's going on? I'm an instrument pilot, so I'm just kind of fascinated with this stuff. It's just when you do your instrument rating, you spend a lot of time on charts. So it's just fun. Hey Ed, gladly. I love making videos about, you know, I mean, obviously most of my stuff, you know, the stuff that people watch is all the technical stuff and the, you know, that sort of thing. But I love flying, you know, I just love flying. Hanoi Bai International Airport is what we're looking for here. That's where we're going. Let's check and make sure we don't have any traffic. We don't have any conflicting traffic. Cool. Once we get to 25 nautical miles, we'll make our first radio call. Transition level is 10,000 feet. But yeah, Aaron, I just love flying. Oh, no way. So you know, yeah, you know all about it then. But it's fun stuff. I mean, are you using JEP charts or using Lido charts? 'Cause I don't know where you're doing your training. Yeah, so if you once you get into instrument stuff, it's all about charts, and it's fun to learn. It really is. At least I thought so. It's good stuff. So, Brussels, okay. I lived in Germany for a while, and one of my host brothers lives in Brussels with his 2 kids. So, but yeah, charts are interesting. Just fun stuff. Fun stuff to learn about. I love everything aviation. It just find it all entertaining. All right. Hanoi by traffic, box 621 heavy. We are 25 miles to the south. Inbound runway 11 right. Hanoi by. Ha! What do you think about that for a radio call? It was pretty good. Alright. So I'm not worried yet about the speed because we're about to level off to slow down. I would think anyway. Yeah. And that is transition level. I'll use my newfound knowledge to press that. Oh, Aaron, what you're doing is one of the most, I mean, that's as much fun as you can have as far as I'm concerned. So I take it you're gonna be an airline pilot then, no? That's cool stuff. That's really cool stuff. I wish you luck. It's not bad, Sam. I was wondering the same thing, as a matter of fact, and it's really not bad. So, let's see here. We've got the approach checklist, altimeter set, and landing checklist, speed brake armed, landing gear, flaps. Alright. So, I want to go legs page, I want to go prog 2 page. Yeah, Aaron, that's awesome. That's some cool stuff. Good for you. You're gonna you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. I would have loved to be an airline pilot, but just wasn't in the cards. But it's all right. So the reason I was saying before, the reason why I'm not worried about slowing down, as you can see, we're about to make this turn. And we've got 20 miles out, 6 miles over, and then literally a 30-mile straight-in final. So I'm not worried about slowing down. Aaron, I have a Piper Cherokee and a Cessna 150. So that's what I do to entertain myself when I'm not simming. Yeah, Sam, that's one of the cool things about the 777, about the freighter. You know, honestly, I never flew a freight flight until 2 days ago. It just never occurred to me. It was never anything I was really interested in. But now having done it, it's a hoot, because you're exactly right. It opens up all these different routes, you know. Like, I never would have flown in Vietnam. Check that out. How cool is this? I probably never would have flown in China, you know, but the different routes just make it really fun. Yeah, Aaron, I do. I'm quite fortunate in that regard. It's a lot cheaper flying in the US than it is flying in Europe. A lot cheaper. So let's see. But yeah, Sam, flying, I'm doing a route for one of my virtual airlines right now. This is a Lufthansa route, believe it or not. So it's Aerologic is it's one of their, I think Aerologic is a Lufthansa subsidiary. Oh, look at this. How cool. How cool. Alright, what do we got here? Well, it would probably be about 289, because that would be the reciprocal of our inbound heading, wouldn't it? Alright, so I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. You know, I've thought about doing it. I've thought about it, but I don't even know if force feedback works in Flight Sim 2020, does it? I remember thinking about that. So let's see here. All right. I'm gonna bring the set the throttles back to about 60% and one. And I mean, we've just got such a long. Let's see here. I mean, we've still got, let's see, 25. We've still got 50 miles to fly. All right, but we're coming down to 4,000. So okay, I didn't know that, Josh. I didn't know that, to be honest. What yoke do you use? Because I got the honeycomb alpha and I really like it. The only thing I sort of would like to have a Boeing yoke for these types of flying, this type of flying, but and you can see the ILS has come in now. This is the DME off the ILS, so we're 18 miles and going the opposite way, as you can tell. I could, yes, but I'm not the most experienced in this plane, so I don't mind taking my time and getting it slowed down, you know. And then we're gonna cover this ground relatively quickly anyway. Alright, so I don't think there's any traffic. One more check here. No. Alright. Should be about 30 miles straight in once we get going. Once we get here, I'll go flaps 1. But Aaron, in the real world, we'd be getting radar vectored right now, probably, depending on what the traffic level is. This is what I really love, is seeing stuff like this. I love seeing farmland from the air. I don't know why. Just cool. Yeah, no, I was not in the military, but I know where Ramstein is, and there's tons of Americans who are there. So I think that's our biggest base in Europe. You could do a direct to another waypoint for sure. But one of the things I heard somebody say, and I thought it was pretty funny, was like, why is everybody in a hurry to land when they're flying if you enjoy flying, you know? So, alright, we'll go. I mean, we're still 25 miles out. We are 25 miles out again. Yeah, I mean, the satellite imagery is clearly not that good. Boy, this is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right, Aaron. That's exactly the answer. Hanoi traffic, box 621 heavy, turning a 30 mile right base, runway 11 right, Hanoi. So. Yeah, everybody. That's the one thing about Josh. I mainly play acoustic though nowadays. I'm mainly an acoustic guy and have been for quite a while. We'll go flaps 1. And let's dial it back here. VREF plus 70 is your upspeed. Or VREF plus 80, I guess, is your upspeed in this plane. Alright, auto brakes armed. Suppose we can arm the approach here. Localizing glide slope in the backup. Yeah, I mean, we worry about how much time we have to taxi when because when you're paying for it. You can always tell somebody who's flying a plane that somebody else is paying for. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. They also don't complain when you have a bad landing. So let's see, localizer. Let's see. Let's see here. Was it 109? Alright, we'll go. We're 25 miles out. It's crazy. That's why I love these range rings, is because then you know exactly what your distance is from the runway, no matter what you're doing. Hanoi traffic, box 621 heavy, 25 mile final runway 11 right, Hanoi. All right. Yeah, we're carrying crystal today. You know. All right, let's get our. Let's get our chart up here. Shouldn't need it. I mean, the weather actually looks better than they were predicting. All right, we'll go flaps 5. Wait for that to extend. Sam, I do not, but I absolutely love the Caribbean, and I've done a lot of flying down there, and I just absolutely love it. It's weird because when you think of the Caribbean, you would normally think of boats, right? Like nobody would think of airplanes, but there's so much flying. That's basically the only way to get around down there. And it's really pretty cool. All right. Glide slope is alive. Localizer is captured. 2500 will go gear down. Flaps 15 or flaps 20 rather. Not gear down for 15. All right, there's 1,000 to go. I'm gonna dial this down below glide slope intercept just because I want to make sure it captures. Yeah, Aaron, we were there in September. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. All right, so. So we still got a bit to go here. We're coming up on 15 miles. Oh yeah, some plane spotting in St. Martin is awesome. Yeah, you can see the weather a little bit in front of us here. Cool stuff. Hanoi. It's pretty neat. I like it. Yeah. Alright. I'm not gonna auto land it this time. I auto landed it last time I flew this plane. I tell you, Flight Sim 2020 looks awesome right now. It really does. Oh, you went to St. Bart's? I've been to St. Bart's a couple times, but just for like a brief period of time, you know, for a couple hours. I flew over there with a buddy of mine. All right, we're coming up on 2500.
2500.
Go gear down. Flaps 15. Hanoi traffic, box 621 heavy, 15 mile final runway 11 right, Hanoi. All right. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun doing it in real life. I assume you flew over there. I flew over in an Islander. It was fun. Ah, okay. Well, we're getting this. So this is the limited visibility they're talking about here. All right. So this will be a 10-mile final once we get here to MB 361. And it did this before. I would prefer it getting down. It did before we kind of paralleled the just below the glide path. Yeah, it is expensive. It's for a 10-minute flight. It is expensive, that's for sure. See, the glide slope is just sitting right up there, which is fine. We're coming in underneath the capture. Hanoi by traffic, box 621 heavy, 10-mile final, runway 11 right. Hanoi by. See, this is my kind of approach. I like. Yeah, exactly, Bob. But this is what I like. I like having lazy straight-in finals. Missed approach altitude is what, 1,500? Oh, it's up to 5,000. Okay. All right, we'll go flaps 30. Flaps 20 rather. I always get my 737 and 777 flaps mixed up. And we're coming in to capture the glide slope. And glide slope is captured. Alright. 2,000 for 250. And a good habit to get into in your flying instrument approaches is to count down your altitude and your minimum. So our minimums on this approach are 240, we'll call it. So what I'll do is, so right now 1,600 for 240. So every 1,000 feet, or every 100 feet rather, I'll call it out. 1,500 for 240. And that's so you remember. That's so you remember what your minimums are. 1,300 for 240. 1,200 for 240. Yeah, that's right. Good point. I always forget that. Close enough. 1,000 for 240. And we've got lights. So, my airplane. $800 for 240.
Traffic.
600 for 240.
500.
Getting a little bit low. 500 for 240.
400.
300 for 240. That way you know when you're coming up to your minimums too.
200. Minimums.
Continuing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 40. 20. 30. 10. 5. 20.
A little bit of a touchdown stutter there, but not too bad. And reversers out. That was not a bad landing. Alright, we'll go toe brakes. Alright. That's what we wanted. This is exactly what we wanted, is Sierra 6, I believe. Sierra 6, there we are. Alright, let's see here. Not bad. Yeah, I don't know why there's a double call out. That's been happening, and it's confusing. But yeah, it's been happening. I don't know what that's all about. Alright, let's get clear of the runway. And my boxes are clapping for me. Alright, we'll clear the runway. Let's come up top here. And Aaron, if you want to impress your instructors, when you clear a runway, come to a stop and do all this fun stuff. Don't do all this stuff while you're taxiing. Your instructors will love you for it. Alright, and we'll go flaps up. Speed brakes up. Now, where are we parking here? Let's see here. We'll go... I don't think we can go straight ahead. I think we got traffic all up here. So we'll go over there. Perfect. And we got a truck right in the way, which is perfectly normal. Yeah, when you so you're going to Arizona, gotcha. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, when you clear a runway, come to a stop. Don't be fiddling with switches and flaps and all that stuff while you're moving. So let's see what we did on the landing there. I was pretty happy with that landing, I have to be honest. 318 feet per minute. That's all right. I mean, it felt better than that to me. Absolutely, Aaron. Man, I wish I could do what you're doing. That's gonna be fun. You're gonna have a good time. So even though they have passenger, even though they have passenger gates, like the jetways here, this is actually cargo parking. Yeah, it's hard to tell in this plane how hard you hit the ground. It really is. That felt pretty smooth, I have to say. I was not displeased with that landing at all. Alright, now the most important part of... Yeah, the cars in the ground, it's ridiculous. The most important part of any flight, parking. Let's see what we can do here, fellas. Let's see what we can do. First thing we can do is slow down a little bit. Oh, let's see. Let's see, I'm gonna guess right there. Go right there. And let's look up top. APU is going. Come down here. Alright, turn the taxi light off so we don't blind anybody. Beacon light is coming off. Come down over here. Let's go here. We'll go ground ops. Set the chocks. Automated ground ops. This is my favorite thing about this airplane. Long turnaround. We'll go 36,000 pounds of fuel. And there we go. Look at that. Guys, I knew. That's the first time I've ever done it. Oh gosh. Wait, hold on. This plane is so big you can't even zoom in too far. Look at that. Look at that right there. The most important part of any flight is the parking, and look at that parking job. That is absolute money right there. I'm taking a picture of that. More important than the landing is the parking. Love it. Oh, that's funny. All right, ground power. You have no idea how happy that makes me. All right, ground power is on. We can turn all this stuff off now. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, window heat coming off. Emergency lights can be flipped off. Oh, we'll leave all this stuff on. It's not gonna come on anyway because it's dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see here. Packs are off. All this stuff is automatic, so it's really pretty sweet. The only thing we do want to turn off is the fuel pumps. So that's that, gentlemen. Let's see. Oh yeah, you got to do that. I wonder B101 if because I always get that with this plane, and I don't know why. Let's see, we'll turn the flight directors off. Aaron, if you want to, I have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord, I'd be happy to like keep in touch with you as you're getting towards doing your flying. I as you can tell, I love flying. And let me see here. I'll put that in the description. I'll put that in the thing, right, by the way. Yeah, so I'd be more than happy to stay in touch with you and you know, answer questions you have and stuff like that about flying in the US. It's a little different than flying in Europe, that sort of thing. So feel free to pepper me with questions. Be happy to help you out. All right, yeah, I mean everything's looking pretty good. APU's cooling down. I think we're pretty good here, gentlemen. I cannot believe I nailed that parking. So the cool thing about the this is like literally my favorite feature about the 777, and the passenger version does the same thing. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it does. So this automated ground ops, you can do short turnaround, which I believe is 30 minutes. A long turnaround is an hour and a half, and or you can do a custom turnaround. But what it does, you just set which type of turnaround you want, set how much fuel you want for your next leg, and then it starts fueling the plane, and it starts the turnaround process, starts unloading the cargo, starts, you know, the water and all that fun stuff. And I just think it's awesome. So like you could conceivably, if you wanted to, you know, do a flight, park up, you know, set a long turnaround time, go have dinner, go have lunch, whatever, and then come back and fly your next leg. It's pretty cool stuff. Sam, I'm not much of an Airbus guy, which I'm starting to feel sort of silly about because you know, there's so many, you know, it's seemingly a lot more Airbus out for this sim than there are Boeings. I mean, for Boeings, there's the Max, there's the 737, and I can't find my joystick. There it is. So I'll show you guys. For those of you guys who haven't seen this yet, I'll show you the inside of the yeah, I knew that would happen. Show you the inside of the plane here real quick. But I'm not much of an Airbus guy, Sam. And Aaron, you're absolutely right. It is the little things in life. So wait a second here. Sorry, we're getting a little dizzy. My joystick takes a little while to connect to my computer, and while it does this, it does all kinds of weird stuff. Hey Aaron, absolutely. You know, absolutely. There will come a day where you will know a hell of a lot more about flying than I do. Believe me. And so here is, I mean, how cool is this? Look at this. You know, there's all the ladder to get up here. Let me see here. And let's go take a look inside. And inside we have the Alfa Romeo and the Aston Martin DB5. Cool stuff. And yeah, just a neat plane. I'm gonna be flying this plane, I think, a lot more than I anticipated. It's just cool. All the different routes it opens up to you. Different types of flying in different places, you know. And it's just cool. Fun stuff. And if what I can do, let me go back in the cockpit here. And let's see if we can. Yeah, that's the actual James Bond car too. That's the it's got the James Bond license plate. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but I mentioned this the other day in the stream. So I went and saw that plane in or I went and saw that car, rather, the Aston Martin DB5, the James Bond one. And it's literally the same car that every single James Bond has driven. Every single James Bond, from Sean Connery to, what's his name? Daniel Craig. Let's see here. Yeah. Let me see. I keep messing around here. So all this stuff works, by the way. And unfortunately, they can't make the display work in the sim. But like all the doors, all these switches work. You know, cabin temp, all this stuff works. The lighting works. You know. Ceiling lights work in here, as you can see. Your little hangout area. And all the well, the door's open, so all that stuff is not visible right now because the door's open, but you can open this door and go into the cargo. And you can also go, let's check out. My movements are not very natural here. Let's see. Whoopsie. Let's see here. Oh, you're Dutch, Aaron? That's awesome. So is Peter. Peter, are you Dutch? Or you just speak? I can't remember. Disarmed. Can't remember if you're Dutch or you speak Dutch and you live in. See, doors work. All that stuff. So it's a cool plane. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, Varvata. I'm just so proud of that parking job. It's like the happiest day of my life. Okay, that's I was wondering. So you obviously speak Flemish as well then. So yeah, so this is, and I noticed that was a long no. No. But this is a fun flight. I enjoyed this one. Got to check out a new part of the world. But let me file my PIREP here. And we got that done. So with any luck, I mean, as long as they don't run into anything, they will they'll be releasing this plane tomorrow. And I think they said, like, I forget what time actually. But I mean, it's a sweet plane. It is a lot of fun to fly. It's a lot of fun to fly. And yeah, it opens up new parts of the world. Cool stuff, it really is. I enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah, exactly. B101. Native language is Flemish. Gotcha. I always find it interesting, like that. You look at like northern Germany, right? And you go across the border to Denmark, and they speak Danish. Except it's, I mean, it's. I assume if you told a Danish person this, they would consider it blasphemy. But it can't be that different from like either Plattdeutsch or, I mean, because it's wild, you know. It's wild that there's so many different languages in such a small area. And I mean, I know I can read a bit of Flemish. I can read Dutch. I can read a little bit of Afrikaans, you know. But like, you wonder how they develop. It's interesting stuff. That's from the yeah, this one over here. That's just because I've got the FSLTL liveries, and if they don't have a livery for whatever plane is there, then they'll just put whatever. So, but I would assume that was Air Kuwait, I believe. I don't even know what that is, Gulliver. But yeah, so late would be about noon Eastern New York time should be coming out. But I'm telling you, it's a cool plane. It really is. A lot of fun to fly. So those of you who have been looking forward to this plane, you will not be disappointed. Outermost western part of Belgium, over the border, they speak French. Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's just interesting. It's just interesting how that developed over time, because, you know, same thing in like south, you know, kind of southwestern Germany. You know, there's, you know, Dusseldorf, that area, they're speaking German. You go right across the border, they're speaking French, you know. Just wild. I've always found stuff like that pretty interesting. But yeah, and you can see some of the equipment just disappeared, so that must mean that the water is we got lavatory service. Yeah, Switzerland, exactly. You know, and people always wonder, like, why do the Dutch, why do the Danish, why do the Swedish speak such good English? Because nobody else speaks their languages, that's why. You know, I mean, outside of Denmark, nobody speaks Danish. So therefore, I mean, not nobody, of course, but like very few people. So yeah, exactly. Yep. It's weird. What I find weird about the US is that you can go from Los Angeles to New York, which is 3,000 miles, and you can understand, you know, and it's the same language. You can understand people perfectly fine. Whereas in Europe, you go 300 miles and you might find 4 different languages, you know? Ah, neat. Austria. I'm trying to think if I've never been to Austria. Never been to Austria. But I love I always wind up getting interesting international, like worldwide groups on these flights on my channel. I love it. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. So there we are. The Boeing 777 freighter. Wonder what's going on. Oh, that must be. All right, so we got the fuel coming in. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I enjoyed this a lot. Yeah, yeah. Was it French, Dutch, and Flemish? No. If I guess one of those wrong, I'm gonna be in trouble, I'm sure. Let me see. Awesome, man. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Look forward to talking to you some more. Now you got me curious, Peter. That's interesting. I didn't realize it was that big. New York is huge. People don't realize how big New York is. New York is enormous. It takes 7 hours to drive from one end of New York to another. Yeah, Dutch, French, and German. What? Wait a minute. German is one of the 3 official languages of the Kingdom of Belgium. Didn't realize that. Huh. Oh yeah, Flemish would not be one of the languages of Belgium, would it? Wait. Let's see here. Now I'm on a interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Welsh is something else. Welsh is something else. Welsh and I wonder how many people speak Welsh in the world. How many people speak Welsh? About 900,000 people speak Welsh. Okay. Huh. This has been an interesting flight. I've enjoyed this. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up and go see what Mrs. Islandson Pilot is doing. But I sincerely thank you guys for joining me and flying along. I really appreciate it. Have very much enjoyed the flight. Very much enjoyed the company. And for you guys in Europe, I wish you a good night because you're probably getting ready to go to sleep. So thanks for spending some time with me. I enjoyed it, guys. I hope you did too. And we'll talk soon. And if you're thinking about this airplane, get it. It's awesome. So everybody have a great night. Peter, B101, Aaron, it's cool talking. Sam, nice talking with you as well. And Bob, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it as always, all the support. And yeah, it was a good time, guys. Thanks a lot. All right. Will do, Aaron, and thank you. And guten Abend, Peter. Mach's gut, ne? All right, guys, take care.